If we exclude quality from quantity, that quantity becomes a curse. But if we take quality along with quantity, then that quantity becomes a blessing in our life. So, capital Q, that is quality, happens to be a very important dimensions of our life. And why it is so important? Because most of the time we ignore it. We ignore what is not visible with the naked eye. There is a concept which we often refer as seeing is believing, which means to say anything that we see, we believe. But do we see everything? Everything in this world? Don't we believe in the air, which we don't see through our naked eyes? So there are many realities of our life which cannot be discovered through our naked eye, and that represent the quality. When we talk about quality, firstly we talk about character. Character is the representative of quality. We can have wealth, we can have money, we can have a swanky house and a beautiful car. All those are representative of quantity. And quite often in the modern world, those nomenclatures are the symbol of success. When we define success, in the Western terminology we say progressive realization of predetermined personal goals. When we talk about goals, we primarily think about material goals. How far we can go, how much we can achieve. It is always the mass and volume structure. It is the material structure. It is the physical dimension of our life. They are very important, because as long as we have a body and we have to sustain this body in this world, those material comforts and luxuries are extremely important. If we don't have food in the stomach, we cannot even worship God. So that's also very, very important. We need to consider the quantitative dimensions of our life. But that's not everything. As unfortunately it is today, most people only have the quantitative dimension. They're only interested in wealth, in comfort, in luxury. We all the time say more, a little more, and a little more. Once we have a small car, then we have a big car, and then we have a bigger car. Every time we begin with something, we are happy initially, and later on we become unhappy, then we look for more. And this running rat race, as it is said, the only difficulty about a rat race is whether you win or you lose, you remain a rat. And that's what happens in our life if we only focus on the quantitative dimension. The qualitative dimension is not materialistic. We say there are two aspects of human personality. One is visible, which is 10%. And that's what exactly we see. That's why David Thoreau had a beautiful saying, we only see 10% of people. Apt and complete quotation. If anybody asks me, tell me one of the best quotation about personality, I would say, we only see 10% of people. Which means to say, whatever we see with the naked eye is only 10% of that person. Which means to say that there is another 90% which we don't see. And just think for a while. Between this visible part of the personality and the invisible part of the personality, which one is more responsible for your success or failure? Which one causes us to succeed or fail in life? It is that immaterial dimension, isn't it? It's not your suit or a tie or a car which helps us to get what we want from life, right? If we go for the interview, focus on this word, interview, for selection. It's not an outer view. It is an interview. So the board of interview will always try to check what's there inside you, because that inside qualities will cause the productivity, will cause the profit, will sustain the organization and the culture. So primarily we check up the inner quality of a person, and the inner quality simply is defined by character, the character of a person. And this is one of the most important feature of human personality, which constitute 90%. What are these 90%? Attitude, your nature, your inner core nature. They are constitution of the inner quality of a person, which is 90%. Let me tell you a story. And this story aptly says something about the qualitative dimension of the human personality. There were two friends, Bimal and Shekhar. They used to study in a school. For a long time they studied and they passed out, and they went for their higher education in two different streams. So Bimal and Shekhar never met for long 20 years. Then on one day, suddenly in a new place, Bimal was just coming out of his hotel and Shekhar was entering. Both of them stopped. They seemed to recognize each other. Bimal says, Shekhar. Shekhar says, Bimal. Both of them hugged together. But the moment Bimal hugs Shekhar tightly, he has a strange kind of a feeling. He remembers that Shekhar that he remembers in the school was not so smart. Today this Shekhar is so vibrant, as if there is a great transformation in his life. He can't believe that this is the same Shekhar. He looks like Shekhar, all right. But there is a doubt in Bimal's mind. Is he Shekhar? Shekhar used to be a nail biter at the back seat. He was an object of ridicule by all other students. He was not this smart one. Today he was the person who came forward, shook hands so firmly, looked into the eyes, and gave such wonderful pleasantries. Bimal was shocked. Bimal was a smarter man that day, but Shekhar is even smarter today. Shekhar feels the doubt in Bimal's eyes. He says, I know what you are thinking. Don't doubt me, Bimal. I am the same Shekhar. I'm slightly tired of I got a meeting, a client coming in my room. So I won't be able to speak with you. Why don't we meet for dinner tonight? My room number is 227. I'll wait for you at 7 o'clock. Would you come? Bimal says, of course I'll come. I said, okay, we'll talk about it then, and I'll clarify the doubt you have. Whole day Bimal can't forget to think about Shekhar. Very strange. How can a person be so much changed? He keeps on thinking about it. And right at 7 o'clock, Bimal was there at the doorstep. He presses the calling bell and Shekhar opens the door. Everything was properly arranged. He welcomes Bimal, hugs him once again. They sit down and talk and talk and talk and talk. Shekhar says he was taking the lead. He was the most vibrant person. It went on for a long time, but Bimal had only one question. Shekhar promised that he is going to tell him what is the secret of his transformation. Is he the same Shekhar? Shekhar is going to give him an evidence. It became night, 10 o'clock, the dinner was over. Bimal cannot resist anymore. Shekhar, do you remember you promised me something in the morning? You are going to talk about you. What is the secret of your transformation, Shekhar? Oh yeah. Shekhar says, of course I will tell you. I remember it. Just wait a little. But only constraint I have in my mind is, I will tell you the truth about my transformation. But you won't believe me. Why won't I believe you, Shekhar? I shall believe you. You are my friend. Don't delay anymore. I'm so eager to know what happened in your life that you got so much transformed. Yes, Bimal, you are right. Something happened in my life which made all this transformation for me. It could be a small thing for you, but it's a very crucial thing that happened in my life. I'll tell you what. Nothing much, Bimal. only one thing happened in my life. I got a true friend in my life. And the moment that friend appeared in my life, everything changed. Bimal was surprised. And he said, Shekhar, one friend? Only one friend you got, and because of that you are so much transformed? But Shekhar, in my life I had many friends. My life didn't transform like yours. Shekhar started laughing and he said, okay, I'll help you to believe. I'll help you to trust me. What did you say, Bimal? You have many friends in your life. Did you say that? Would you be kind to mention the name of one of those friends who can die for you? Is there anyone? Be honest, Bimal. Bimal's mind goes for a flash. The faces of all his friends passed through his eyes, but he couldn't discover any one of them who could die for him, who could give his life for him. Shekhar was smiling. Shekhar said, couldn't find one? Okay. Then now try and tell me, amongst those friends, who is that one for whom you can die? Bimal cannot die for anyone. They're all friends. He cannot give his life for anyone. Bimal's eyes were soaked with tears. He stood up. He holds Shekhar by his shoulders and says, I trust you, my friend. You have a friend like that who can die for you, for whom you can die? Yes, Bimal. I have such a friend in my life. And do you believe now? If one has such a friend in his life will change. Tears rolled from Bimal's eyes. His whole life got wasted. And he said, Shekhar, do me a favor. I fully trust you. You got such a friend. Won't you tell me how I can have such a friend in my life so my life also changes? Shekhar says, of course I'll tell you that, my friend. You want to have a good friend in your life? The real friend in your life who can do everything for you and for whom you can do everything? You can, Bimal. But for that, first of all, you got to be one. Bimal, you got to be one such friend. And then everything changes. And that's the human character, ladies and gentlemen. Being your true friend by yourself makes all the difference in your life. And that's the symbol of quality. When you improve your quality, you love yourself. You are the greatest friend of your life. Don't tell anyone. Did you tell your wife that you love her more than you? That was a lie. Because if you didn't love yourself the most, you couldn't love anybody else in this world. It is self-love. Be the greatest friend of your life, and that's going to improve your quality. Finally, I will just recite a beautiful poetry, and that will explain everything about the quality. It's a very old poetry. Nobody knows who wrote it. The title of the poetry is The Guy in the Glass. It goes like this. Before I go, I must tell you, your greatest friend in your life is the mirror. It never cheats you. So it goes like this. If you get what you want in your struggle for self, and the world makes you king for a day, then go to the mirror and look at yourself and see what that guy has to say. For it isn't your father, mother, husband or wife whose judgment on you must pass, but the fellow whose verdict counts most in your life is the guy staring back from the glass. He is the fellow to please, never mind all the rest, because he is clean with you till the end. And you have passed your most dangerous and difficult test if that guy in the glass is your friend. You may be like Jack Horner and chisel a plum and think you are a wonderful guy, but the guy in the glass says you are a bum if you have failed to look him straight in the eye. You may fool the whole world down the pathway of years and get pats on the back as you pass, but the end result will be heartache and tears if you have cheated the guy in the class. People of quality don't cheat that guy in the class. They love them. You too do that. And here is a transformation from small q to capital Q. Thank you very much. See you again next time.